find out how these new vehicles will benefit disabled passengers.
Sorry.
30. How's that look? Your audio line sounds dead. Your battery's been replaced.
No.
Brooks, where to do?
The following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Western Illinois University has been awarded $10 million.
Coming up tonight on News 3's Live at 4.
Live from Salina
University
Hall
awarded
in
millions
high
of dollars to study a new crop. We'll tell you what they'll be growing.
News 3 starts now.
And Western Illinois University will soon be studying a new crop. Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Devin Brooks.
And I'm Mackenzie Irby. Earlier today, the WIU Department of Agriculture announced that they will be receiving a new federal grant to study a crop.
Within the next month, the crop pennycress will start being planted here in Macomb. WIU professor Dr. Wynn Pfiffen submitted the application for a $10 million grant. This crop has the potential as a biofuel for aviation vehicles.
This is a federal grant that's going to be used to investigate the use of an alternative crop called
Dr.
pennycress,
Pfiffen says the research program will
which is the
offer
new
many
cash
opportunities for
cover crop
WIU
in the Midwest
students.
region.
Pennycress is actually a
The
weed that we're
first
turning into a
harvest of
biofuel.
pennycress is expected in May 2020 with the goal of the commercial launch of pennycress in Central Illinois in 2021.
2 men are in jail after Macomb police say they were caught with more than 50 grams of methamphetamine. Police say they pulled over 35-year-old Curtis Brown of Frederick and 21-year-old Joshua Lowe of Beardstown earlier Monday morning at the intersection of Brower and Jackson for speeding and a broken taillight. Officers say that they noticed suspicious behavior, and after searching the area, they found meth that had been thrown from the vehicle. Both men are charged with possession and delivery of meth.
One man is dead after a single car crash in McDonough County over the weekend. Illinois State Police say on Saturday, 74-year-old Edwin Grisham from Blandonsville was driving north on 350 East about a half-mile north of 950 North in the Tennessee Township. Just after 9 p.m., police say Grisham's vehicle ran off the road, hit an embankment, then overturned. Grisham was thrown from the vehicle and was not wearing a seatbelt. Police say the cause of the crash was due to improper lane usage.
Western Illinois University police say a WIU student was threatened by a 17-year-old with a weapon. Police say it happened earlier Sunday in Thompson Hall. The female WIU student was allegedly assaulted by the teen and then threatened with an airsoft BB gun. Police say both knew each other. He was a non-student, and the boy left the resident hall before he was caught shortly after 1 a.m. He was then taken to an area juvenile detention center.
WIU's Office of Public Safety is warning you of ongoing phishing scams being sent to people on campus. Officials say some faculty and staff are receiving emails offering work-from-home opportunities. While the university usually blocks such emails, some may still come through.
If it looks too good to be true, check into it. You can check with UTech, you can check with the police department. Like I said, the Attorney General's website.
Here's we're having some audio issues. Officials also say anyone asking you to send money, cash a check, or give personal information should be ignored.
And police in Warren County are alerting residents to report any suspicious activity you see. That's after this man was caught on camera walking up to a house around 3 in the morning last Thursday. Police won't say where this happened, but they say they were called after the homeowner caught the man coming close to his house, but he then quickly leaves once he sees the camera. Police say they've identified the man, but he has not been charged with the crime. Warren County Sheriff Office would like residents to be on the lookout and call them if anything suspicious is happening.
Macomb city leaders want to remind businesses of a smoking ban that's in effect across the state. At last night's Macomb City Council meeting, aldermen approved adding wording for an ordinance pertaining to liquor license holders. Officials say the ordinance now says that no smoking is allowed outside of any business with a liquor license in order to comply with the Smoke-Free Illinois Act. The vote passed 5-1. The no vote came after Alderman Vajezi says people in his ward is mostly opposed to the ban. The Smoke-Free Illinois Act was put into effect back in 2008.
And Medina County Police Transportation has announced that it's rolling out 5 new buses to add to its GoWest fleet. The transit company says that new clean diesel buses will replace older buses that's been running for more than 20 years. The new additions are expected to give disabled passengers better access and save on fuel costs. The fleet will also give voice announcements during rides. It's paid for through a grant and IDOT. Officials say the new buses are already on the streets.
Macomb residents and people from all around were treated to a festival of colorful attractions. News 3's Connell Duffy tells us about the Macomb Balloon Rally. Okay, it appears we don't have that package right now. The next balloon rally we do know will take place next year in September. All right, well, coming up next on News 3 Live at 4, a family waiting for justice 1 year after their son was found dead in Galesburg. Their concerns with the investigation. That's coming up.
Plus, day 2 of the General Motors strike, the latest on one of the biggest U.S. labor organization strikes in many years. But before we go to break, let's send it over to meteorologist Jared Streeter. Jared, when is this heat going to give?
Well, you know, it definitely seemed like we were going to have that break this morning until that sun popped out. As we can see, our temperatures outside right now, 81 degrees, winds east-southeast at 5 miles an hour. As we head into this weekend, however, we could see that temperature start to change. So we'll keep an eye out for that, all that and more when we come back.
My favorite thing about News 3 is you're constantly working with someone. If you're not going to work with someone, then your show's not going to go right. News 3 has really got me ready and prepared for the outside world. Traveling to do a tornado story, or if that even means traveling to Iowa to cover third graders, I get to work with some fantastic people. It wouldn't be the show that it was today without the production crew, without our anchors, without our talent. It's really a team effort, and I'm beyond blessed to be able to be here. My favorite thing about News 3 is you're constantly working with someone. If you're not going to work with someone, then your show's not going to go right. News 3 has really got me ready and prepared for the outside world. Traveling to do a tornado story, or if that even means traveling to Iowa to cover third graders, I get to work with some fantastic people. It wouldn't be the show that it was today without the production crew, without our anchors, without our talent. It's really a team effort, and I'm beyond blessed to be able to be here.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your nurturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
For the first time in 12 years, the U.S. auto industry is on strike, the U.S.'s biggest labor organization strike in many years. Nearly 50,000 General Motors employees across the nation walked out after GM and the United Auto Workers unions failed to reach an agreement on the new 4-year contract. Workers from 31 GM factories and 21 other facilities in 9 states are participating.
The Macomb Balloon Rally.
Well, given the time that I've been with the company and the sacrifices I've made along the way, with this being such a pivotal point in the contract, I can do it as long as necessary because of the sacrifice and the time I put in thus far. So it's a long-term thing for me.
The last auto worker strike was also against GM and lasted 3 days.
Parents of a former WIU student are asking for tips to help solve their son's death investigation. I spoke to the parents in an exclusive interview 1 year after their son's body was found along a creek in Galesburg. 23-year-old Tyler Smith was known as a loving, hard-working young man with a big heart.
He was determined. He was a very, very determined, young man.
He was a soldier in the U.S. Army and newly hired as a police officer in San Jose, California.
So that's what was close to Tyler's heart. We're police officers and military.
Smith graduated with a law enforcement degree from WIU in May 2018. Months after he graduated, he was back in the Macomb area for National Guard training.
Strangers will go, oh, I saw Tyler here.
Can
and
they
he's
turn
such a
on
nice
studio?
kid."
But it was during that trip back to the area, his 23-year-old life would be cut short.
And then I knew.
Thank you.
I knew it was Tyler at that point because it's not like Tyler not to call.
September 14th, 2018, the day Smith arrived in Galesburg. That night, he went out to eat and bar hop with friends. After leaving the bar, Smith texted his friend in Macomb asking his address. Smith's friend told his parents he thought Tyler was in Macomb because he said he was by the Macomb Police Department. Around 11:40, Smith's friend told him his address. Tyler texted back and said he was coming. 10 minutes later, Tyler's friend tried to call him, but he didn't answer. And here's the Casey's where Tyler is seen on video coming down West Street. About 2 minutes into the video, a police car heads in the same direction as Tyler, but police say the officer was doing a business check. Throughout the night, Smith's friends called him more than a handful of times, but their calls were never answered. Nearly 12 hours after he was last seen, Smith was reported missing by his friend. On September 15th, just before 7 p.m., police received a call for a body found in Cedar Fork along Water Street in Galesburg. Smith's parents say police ID'd the body as Tyler Smith.
I said, well, I'm his mother. I just found out about it. Now I want to talk to an officer.
But one of the many concerns Tyler's parents have, they say they were not allowed to identify their son. According to Tyler's parents, their son was identified by an officer, but turns out that officer wasn't on the scene. There are more than a dozen of other reasons why this family feels the Galesburg Police Department's investigation has not brought justice to their son's death. Now, Tyler's family also hired a private investigator to look into this case. Coming up on Thursday on News 3 Live at 4, you'll hear from the former and current police chiefs in Galesburg and where they stand with the case.
The baseball fields at Veterans Park in Macomb may soon be lit. The Macomb Park Board is set to decide tonight on whether to give the go-ahead to add lights to at least one field for now. Park officials say the challenges of having no lights has impacted local sports games for more than a decade. This project is expected to cost $750,000. It would be paid for with donations and money set aside if approved. Officials will hope to have this field approved by next spring.
Macomb residents and people from around were treated to a festival of colorful attractions. News 3's Connell Duffy tells us about the Macomb Balloon Rally.
The Macomb Balloon Rally was held on September 6th and 7th in Vince Grady Field. Packed with giant balloons, families, and fun, this 33rd annual event is a true gem of the activities you can find in Macomb. More than 20 balloons launched into the skies that weekend.
I like hot air balloons. I think they're cool. I like the designs on them. They're really interesting.
As the sun went down, family-friendly music was played by local band Jera and the Absolutes. I got a chance to talk to one of the pilots. Balloon pilot Dan Roosh said he's been a pilot for 14 years.
It's a unique thing, and it's always cool to share it with people. That's the best part. So
I had a chat with security from a student-run organization that was there. They had direct contact with OPS just in case anything went wrong.
We can kind of clear the crowd and make sure the first responders can get there in a timely manner. Just kind of keep things under control until an ambulance or further assistance can get there.
People came from all around to watch these colorful balloons glow. At night, the field was illuminated with warm light. Every couple minutes, a horn would sound, letting the pilots know when to light up their balloon flames. For News 3, I'm Connell Duffy.
The next balloon rally will take place next year in September. All right, well, coming up next, News 3's Jared Streeter has your weekday forecast. Stay with us. We will be right back.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Stories, they happen everywhere. At News 3, we go the distance and tell them firsthand. Across the region,
We're able to pour through a neighborhood in Washington, Illinois.
across the state,
The state capitol in Springfield for the big material waste.
across generations.
We have a lot of people that are very dedicated, who are all volunteers.
The stories that inform us, the stories that move us, the stories that matter from a fresh perspective.
I think it's working with everybody in the newsroom. Everybody has such a great camaraderie. All the opportunities that have been given here have just been amazing to expand on that resume. I cannot beat myself up on the mistakes I make because there's so many opportunities. Just getting that experience, this is how I'm going to do things in the real world, is really what the broadcasting and journalism departments are for me. And we had a really good show and everybody nailed it. I mean, that's one of the best feelings in the world.
Welcome back, Macomb. Again, it was another hot day outside, hot and muggy. 81 degrees outside again currently. The humidity is right around 66%, and our winds aren't helping the case at east-southeast at 7 miles an hour. Now we look at our averages for this time of year. 81 degrees is what we have today. Our average is about 77. I think a lot of us would be giving anything to have that today. Our average low this time of year, 53. Record high, 97. They can keep that, in my opinion. As we move to look at our surface map, what we see here is just a lot of high pressure over the Illinois area. So this is bringing a lot of the warm air from the Gulf into our area, which is making us feel this warm, hot, muggy weather that we're not really enjoying at this time. Here's our current infrared right now. Not a lot of clouds over our area. Some moving over, but nothing that's going to affect us currently. Right now our radar is clear. Not a whole lot going on in our area in this entire map that we see. Today our temperatures again 81 degrees here in Macomb, Keokuk, 85 degrees, Quincy, 88. Looking at tonight, we are going to have temperatures of 64 degrees, so we're going to have a little bit of a break when we start into the head into the afternoons. Beardstown 64 degrees and Quincy as well as 69. Tomorrow, we unfortunately have that spike right back up. 87 degrees here in Macomb, 90 in Keokuk, 88 in Burlington, and Quincy 89. As we head over to Springfield, we see that 86. So our entire area that we have on our map is seeing these mid to high 80s, if not low 90s. As we head into tomorrow night, however, we are going to see that break again. 64 degrees here in Macomb, 64 down in Beardstown, and again in Springfield, 63, 62 over in Bloomington. As we start to look at tonight, again, it's going to be a nice night to have the windows open if you enjoy the cooler temperatures. 64 degrees here in Macomb, partly cloudy, winds east-southeast at 5 miles an hour. As we look at tomorrow, again, it spikes right back up, 87 degrees. 87 degrees, wind southeast at 7 miles an hour. Looking at Wednesday, 86 degrees is the high, partly cloudy. Thursday, 86 degrees, low is 66. Friday, high 85, low is 69, and then we start to see our break. 80 degrees with a chance of showers and thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday, and then we're going to see that temperature start to drop off on Sunday with a high of 76 and a low of 59. So after this, from what I was looking at our 10-day forecast, which is way out, we can't rely on that, but it is looking that we're going to start to hit the mid 70s and kind of get out of this 80s range.
I was going to say, I have to say, even though this is our first show, we have several more to go. We just want to let everyone know. So all the issues that we're having, you probably did the best so far with weather, and Michael's going to go ahead and take it over, right?
Well, let's see if I can challenge Jared on that. Thank you very much, Devin Brooks. Coming up next here on Live at 4, the Bushton and West Prairie Sparkbones went to Havana, but could they come out with a win? And would the 0-2 Western Illinois football team take down the number 10 team in the country over the weekend? We'll answer those questions next in sports.
And now, for the first time at home, the stand-in welcome for Western.
Here we go.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your nurturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
My favorite thing about NEWS3 is you're constantly working with someone. If you're not going to work with someone, then your show's not going to go right. NEWS3 has really got me ready and prepared for the outside world. Traveling to a tornado story, or if that even means traveling to Iowa to cover third graders, I get to work with some fantastic people. It wouldn't be the show that it was today without the production crew, without our anchors, without our talent. It's really a team effort, and I'm beyond blessed to be able to be here.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your nurturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Live at 4. I'm Michael Bryan, and college football returned to Hanson Field for the first time on Saturday as Western Illinois took on 10th-ranked Montana State. The Leathernecks have won 12 straight home games against non-conference opponents. Western was hoping to extend that streak coming into Saturday afternoon. The Leathernecks were fired up and ready to go in their home opener as they run out onto the football field at Hanson Field. The first time they occupy Hanson this season. The Montana State Bobcats were ready as well. A 14-yard run from Logan Jones caps off a 10-play drive and makes it 7-0 Montana State. That's not the highlight that's on our screen right now. We will try to fix that, though. There we go. There's the Leathernecks getting all fired up and ready to go. And here's that 14-yard scamper from Logan Jones that gets into the end zone. And now let's get you to the second half. It's 10-7 Bobcats until Jones once again. This is his second touchdown on the day, and it is 87 yards on the ground. A gaping hole made by the Bobcat offensive line. Leathernecks tripping, trying to get him. But Jones is gone. The Jets are on. And like they're lunging to the forest, the Bobcats are on the prowl of the end zone. It's 17-7 there, but Western is not quite done just yet. Next possession, Jared Drake runs off the left-hand side of the I formation, gets good blocking and makes it 17-14 with the extra point going in. That's in the third quarter. That was it for the scoring for WIU. Although Montana State would have a couple of more, Western drops this game by a final score of 23-14. Junior wide receiver Dennis Houston had an impressive day. 151 yards on 5 receptions and a touchdown. Quarterback Connor Sampson had his best game in the college starting status, and head coach Jared Elliott backed that up to Brendan Reedy.
It's been a really good progression from 1 to 2 to 3, and that's what you want to see for any first-year starting quarterback. I think he's starting to really settle in. He's getting comfortable, trusting the pieces around him, protection. No question, we've got some guys like Dennis Houston and Tony Tates and George Wahies that are really stepping up and making some plays for him on the perimeter, which we got to continue to build on as we move forward. And so, but I am very pleased with where Connor is heading, and he's on an upward trajectory right now, which is what you want.
And you can catch the rest of Brendan's interview with Coach Elliott on the next edition of Leatherneck Insider, which airs this coming Friday on Facebook. Elliott, Sampson, and the rest of the Leathernecks will hope to turn the arrow upwards on their season this weekend against Tennessee Tech. In men's soccer news, WIU is still looking for its first win on the year. The Leathernecks get another chance today as they welcome the Drake Bulldogs to John McKenzie Alumni Field. With more, here's News 3's Jalen Reeves.
Hey folks, I'm your reporter here, Jalen Reeves, giving you the latest in sports. We're about 15 minutes away here at the John McKenzie Field, where the Leathernecks are still looking for their first win. Today they will take on the 2-3 Drake Bulldogs. Last week the Leathernecks fell to the Big Ten opponent Northwestern with a score of 2-3. However, that was the most field goals they have scored since week 1, so they're getting back into a rhythm of things. And other good news, goalkeeper Tim Trilk is second in Division I with 32 saves. Tim also set a career high of saves at UIC on September 8th with 13. Today's game has been moved to 4:45 p.m., so make sure you come out today and support your Leatherneck men.
Thank you, Jalen. On the women's side, it was a defensive battle between WIU and Illinois State on Sunday. A Redbird goal in the 79th minute by Katie Del Fava proved to be their difference. It proved to be the difference maker, rather, as Western loses 1-0. It was a tough weekend for the Western Illinois women's volleyball team. The Leathernecks lost all 3 games at the Wright State Invitational, falling to 3-7 on the season. There was one bright spot, and that was Aubrey Putman, who made the all-tournament team with 20 kills in 25 digs. Ben Stopey's squad is back in tournament action Friday and Saturday at Tennessee Tech. Finally, in the prep ranks, the Bushnell West Prairie football team hosted the Havana Ducks last Friday night. Senior Jax Heil led the Sparklones with 122 rushing yards. But it wouldn't be enough to get past the Ducks. They lost in a shootout 34-30. Bushnell West Prairie is now 0-3 on the season. That's sports. Coming up next, we've got a saucy end to today's show. We'll be right back.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your nurturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
my favorite thing about News 3 is you're constantly working with someone. If you're not going to work with someone, then your show's not going to go right. News 3 has really got me ready and prepared for the outside world. Traveling to do a tornado story, or if that even means traveling to Iowa to cover third graders, I get to work with some fantastic people. It wouldn't be the show that it was today without the production crew, without our anchors, without our talent. It's really a team effort, and I'm beyond blessed to be able to be here.
That's all for us today.
But we're online all the time.
Stay up to date with us, news3wiu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, News3WIU. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
From all of us at News 3, have a good night, Macomb.